Imagine this. You are working as an American military airman. Your fighter jet is shot down over Iran during a war. You are injured. You are alone. And thousands of Iranians, including their military, are actively searching for you everywhere with $1 million bounty on your head. That's not a movie plot. It actually happened. And what did the American military do next? Honestly, it sounds like it came straight out of a Tom Clancy novel. Let's break it down. So here's where it all begins. A U.S. F-15E Strike Eagle, one of the world's most advanced and reliable fighter jets, was shot down by Iranian gunfire while flying over Isfahan province, Iran, dropping bombs. There were 2 crew members on board. The pilot and a weapons specialist, the guy who was basically responsible for the combat systems on that plane. Both were ejected. Separately. Behind enemy lines. Now, the pilot? He was actually rescued quickly. Within hours, U.S. forces found his location, came in, and got him out. Clean. Efficient. Done. But the weapons specialist? That's where the story gets complicated. This guy was badly injured after being ejected. He was found to have sprained his ankle. Not ideal when you're alone in an unfamiliar area and need to quickly disappear. But here's the thing. U.S. aviators go through what's known as SEER training. Survival, evasion, resistance, and evasion. It's designed for exactly these kinds of moments. He used that training. Despite being wounded, he climbed a 2,100-meter ridge in the mountains, that's about 7,000 feet, and hit in a crevice in a rock face. He had his combat suit, a radio beacon, a GPS locator, food, water, first aid, and a pistol. This help would be enough to keep him off the radar in a region with no information about survival. At one point, he managed to establish radio contact with American forces and confirm himself, crucial, because the military had to confirm that it wasn't an Iranian trap before sending in a rescue team. Smart! Disciplined! This guy did everything right. Meanwhile, back at command, the CIA was not sitting idle. They launched a so-called deception campaign inside Iran, spreading false information suggesting that U.S. forces had already located the escaped Air Force soldier and were evacuating him. The goal? Confuse Iranian intelligence. Slow them down. Buy them time. On top of that, the U.S. military shut down electronics in the area and bombed major roads around the Air Force site to physically prevent Iranian search parties from getting close. Because make no mistake, this air pilot became the key to Iran's plans. State television literally broadcast appeals to local residents, often urging them to find the enemy pilot and hand him over to the police. They even promised a reward for it. The real race was on, and the clock was ticking. Here's where it gets cinematic. Under cover of darkness, about 100 U.S. Special Operations Forces, including Navy SEAL Team 6, landed in Iran. Undetected. They climbed the same 2,100-meter mountain and reached the Air Force officer. They caught him. They were moving toward the location of the aircraft they had arrived at before dawn. And then everything stopped. 2 C-130 transport planes that had carried part of the rescue team to Iran suffered mechanical failure. They were unable to fly. Suddenly, more than 100 elite special operations soldiers were trapped in an enemy camp in Iran, with a rescued airman in need of medical attention, Iranian forces searching the area, and no way out. One U.S. official described the moment in particular. If there was ever a holy SH moment, that was it. So what do you do in that situation? You make a decision. A fast one. The commanders ordered additional aircraft, small, turboprop planes capable of landing on small, rugged airfields, to fly out of Iran and rescue the team from this trapped situation. That meant the commandos had to wait for the airplanes in enemy territory for a couple of tense hours. 2 Black Hawk helicopters involved in the wider operation had already come under Iranian fire, but had narrowly escaped. Finally, the defense forces were pulled out in stages. And before they left, they destroyed 2 broken C-130s. They also completely blew up 4 additional helicopters. Iran leaves nothing delicate to be desired. Now, Iran is telling a very different story. Iranian state media claimed the American operation had been completely foiled. They showed footage of 2 burned propellers and the charred remains of engines in a desert area south of Isfahan, calling it proof of what they described as America's humiliating defeat. The Revolutionary Guards posted a photo they claimed showed the skull of an American soldier among the debris. An Iranian military spokesman said the U.S. forces had used a disused airport in Isfahan province and had framed the whole thing as a deception operation rather than a defense. The governor of the province where the airmen landed flatly denied that any American troops had landed there, calling the reports completely false. Iranian officials say they shot down a transport plane and 2 helicopters. The U.S. says its forces destroyed the planes themselves to prevent them from falling into Iranian hands. 2 sides. 2 very different stories. You can decide who you believe. What we do know is this: the Air Force officer is safe. U.S. forces pulled him out. 13 American service members have died in the conflict so far, more than 300 have been wounded, but no American troops have been captured. And the operation that rescued this one Air Force crew involved hundreds of special forces, CIA deception techniques, electronic jamming, airstrikes on the roads, SEAL Team 6, and a last-minute improvisation that could have gone horribly wrong. Whatever you think about the politics, the people who planned and executed that rescue, they earned their paycheck. If you found this story as wild as I did, hit subscribe, because we cover stories like this every week. And drop a comment below. Do you think Iran's version or the US version is closer to the truth? I'll see you in the next one.